Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Day 2 of our exile and our quarantine. Here I am, locked down in the woods of the Poconos. All right, I just wanted to get started. I'm going to start actually on this slide, which you saw last time, just so you can see I did indeed, in fact, delete that horrendous picture of Abraham Lincoln I had and replaced it with a fairly nice one. Where is mine? Thought I had a book I wanted to show you guys, and I don't. So, never mind. Here we go. We looked at Abraham Lincoln's spot resolution, which you looked at in homework. Hopefully you see that Lincoln and the Whigs were generally anti-expansion, especially in the South, due to the slavery issue. However, Polk and the Democrats very pro-expansion and pro-slavery and the expansion of slavery. We looked at how Texas is annexed during this time period. We will look at how the Mexican cession comes to be today. All right, so the war. Americans are 100% successful in the Southwest and California when we actually do declare war on Mexico. Mexico's army was in disarray. Remember, Santa Anna, the new president, had disbanded the Constitution, had really depleted much of his military's might before this war, just subduing Mexico itself. John C. Fremont becomes a major figure. He is going to capture California, and he's going to march straight into Mexican territory. He colludes with Mexicans who actually, mostly upper-class Mexicans who wanted to be part of the United States because of the economy of the United States. He goes to California and starts a rebellion in Mexican territory, in what is today California. This happens before he even knew that Mexico and the United States were at war. So it wasn't really a collaboration with the American government. It was more with local Americans living in California and upper-class Mexicans. He declares the California Bear Flag Republic. So like Texas, he's taking a page out of the playbook of Stephen Austin and declares an independent republic in California. Here is the original flag. Today, you can see the California state flag is today, resembles this. It's based off of it. And because of this, California is only the second republic within the Union. But unlike Texas, it does not maintain some autonomy that Texas does. So California is now an independent nation for just a very short time. It will quickly join the Union. Zachary Taylor, old rough and ready, was in charge of the northern campaign. He goes to Buena Vista. He earns the title the Hero of Buena Vista because his 5,000 troops defeat 20,000 Mexican troops. Now, in all actuality, they were much better armed. They were given these smaller cannons where they shot, it's called canister shot. It's almost like a glass-sized, I don't have a can here. It was like a can, and they would stuff it full of metal lead balls about this big. And it's called canister shot. You shove it down the cannon, and when the cannon goes off, it acts like a gigantic shotgun. Zachary Taylor told his soldiers to double stuff the barrels with shot and give them hell, and they did. Wait until the Mexicans were within 30 to 40 yards and opened up with over 100 of those canister shot, sometimes called grape shot, cannons, and really decimated the Mexican army. Ooh, animated it twice. And here's actually a rather low resolution picture of this. I made these when I had just the smartboard, and the whole thing was low resolution. In charge of the main American effort in Mexico City, however, is Old Fuss and Feathers, General Winfield Scott. Winfield Scott was actually the hero of the War of 1812. He's still active in 1848. He'll actually be the first Union general in the Civil War. At that time, we'll see him again. He is a very heavy, very old man at this point. From the Revolution to the Civil War, he was the most successful American general. Although you've heard a lot about Andrew Jackson in the War of 1812, we basically studied the Battle of New Orleans because of how it propels Andrew Jackson to the presidency, much like Zachary Taylor, Zachary Taylor, Old Rough and Ready, will be propelled to the White House because of his campaign in Mexico. Winfield Scott, there he is, Old Fuss and Feathers. He got that nickname because he wore this uniform with the frills and everything else all the time. Even just going out for a social engagement, he wore it at all times. You know, in the War of 1812, he was actually noted as being extremely handsome, and he was very tall, very muscular, and then at this point he has let himself go, poor guy. But he grew himself some sweet mutton chops to go along with it. Taylor was good with small forces. Zachary Taylor. He really struggled with big campaigns. And this is where Winfield Scott really excelled. He was great with huge campaigns. Polk wants to end the war almost immediately. All right, he wants this war to be over. He just wants to gain the territory. He doesn't want to be in a drawn-out war with Mexico. He sends Nicholas Trist to negotiate peace with Santa Anna. They negotiate an armistice for $10,000, which was not very much money. Santa Anna just pockets the money. He's really a corrupt leader, pockets the money. Polk calls for Trist to come home as soon as they sign this agreement. There they are. And they signed the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Definitely the most fun name to say in all of American history. Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. It does a bunch of different things. Americans are given Texas. Mexico withdraws its complaint that Texas is really still part of Mexico. All the territory stretching from Oregon to the United States was handed over. This is called the Mexican Cession. The Mexican Cession. They ceded it to us. This is much more territory than Polk ever thought he was going to get, right? Polk thinks he's getting California, Oregon, and Texas. Well, now they get New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, parts of Colorado. It's a huge amount of territory. And we pay them $15 million for all of it. Remember, before the war, he's willing to pay $25 million, but after you defeat someone in a war, you're in the driver's seat. So we pay them $15 million, and we will actually make one more tiny purchase. If we look, let's go back to that map I had. Should put it back down there. Uh-oh. Are we stuck? We were stuck. Okay. So the Mexican Cession is all of this yellow territory. Texas, we annex in 1845. So this entire area. The Mexican Cession now, not just California, but all of this. This little area we will actually buy in what's called the Gadsden Purchase. And the Gadsden Purchase was made largely because it was too mountainous to run railway through this area. So here we are, the steam engine again, making all of our lives better and expanding the United States. So the Gadsden Purchase was nice and flat. It's desert. A railway could run through there quite easily. Let me see something. Oh, I can't change the settings now, so you're gonna have to. I have a short video for you to watch. However, you're going to have to basically. Oh, I think I can switch it over. Never mind, that didn't work, did it? All right, I'm going to show you this video, and I'll just sit here and you can watch me laugh along.
Everybody, welcome back to the show. Coming up this week, we have Russell Brand, Tracy Morgan, Michael Stipe, Emily Blunt. It's going to be a great week. So excited. It's week 2.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, great show so far, but why haven't you done any jokes about the Gadsden Purchase?
I'm sorry, what?
The Gadsden Purchase, signed in 1854 by President Franklin Pierce, granted the U.S. sovereignty over the southern tips of Arizona and New Mexico. You see, the terrain in the southernmost portion of the Mexican Cession, 1848, was too rocky for the transcontinental railroad. So,
wait, you brought a visual aid. That's you carry that around everywhere you go, or?
I do love the Gadsden Purchase.
Well, if you love this thing so much, why would you want me to make a joke about it?
I mean, you gotta be able to laugh at the Gadsden Purchase. I mean, it's what life's all about.
Life is all about laughing at the Gadsden. Maybe that's what your life's about, but I don't see what's so funny about a 150-year-old land treaty.
I mean, just look at all the comedic possibilities. I mean, you got Franklin Pierce, hello, James Gadsden, not to mention topographical issues regarding the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad. I mean, the jokes practically write themselves.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
You know what? I just thought of a joke. Do you guys want to hear it? What's the only difference between the Gadsden Purchase and the Louisiana Purchase?
I give up. What?
The Louisiana Purchase was signed in 1803 and gave the U.S. 800,000 square miles of French territory, and the Gadsden Purchase didn't suck.
Oh, that's a pretty great joke. Except you forgot the part about how the Gadsden Purchase never would have happened if it weren't for the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Up top, baby.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
I'm that guy's worst nightmare. The guy who loves the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Signed 1848. Ended the Mexican-American War.
Wait, you have the actual treaty with you?
No, but it's a pretty decent replica.
Okay, that is just sad. That's really sad. What do you think about all this?
The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is nothing more than a poor man's Clayton Bulwer Treaty.
You got you there, buddy.
That's awful cute, beard boy. Now I got a joke for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Best treaty in the world.
All right, I think I see where this is going. The best treaty in the world, who?
What are you, stupid? The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Who wants to party?
Hey, just curious, but what do you guys think of the Webster-Ashburton Treaty?
You mean the 1842 treaty that resolved minor boundary disputes between U.S. and Canada?
Yes, negotiated by U.S. Secretary of State Daniel Webster.
I love the Webster-Ashburton Treaty.
Me too. Dad?
All right. All right, good to see there's some other history nerds out there, even at Jimmy Fallon's show. All right, let's finish up. So, positives and negatives. America's land increased again by a third. This is the culmination of Manifest Destiny. This is the United States stretching from coast to coast. It justified West Point, the military academy. Every young commander that comes out of this is a West Point graduate, and most of the new generals who will debut in the Civil War were West Point grads. This is their opportunity to get some experience under their belt. But, however, this is where things get ugly between the United States and Latin America. It has never really resolved. There's a dividing line between the United States and Latin America that still is here today. And the slavery issue, which we will look at again. All right, I only have 1 minute before the end of this. Abolitionists thought that the Mexican War was spreading a slaveocracy. You really need to know the Wilmot Proviso. It did not pass. It did not become law, but it was the first time that a Northerner, a Pennsylvanian, wanted to ban slavery in the Mexican Cession, which doesn't happen, but it proves that there's now a stark dividing line between the North and the South. We have Polk is left, a nation with a huge amount of territory, but a really ugly slavery dispute that will only be solved by the Civil War. And that is the end of the PowerPoint. I will post the PowerPoint. There are 2 documents you need to examine, both by John O'Sullivan. Please do the happy assignment. You'll see what I mean when you get there. Thank you very much. I will see you guys tomorrow.